That's the thing with these people, is they're there to intentionally do that to you. And
yeah, it's difficult.
Intelligently, you've got to rise above that and just carry on. Because if you've got the conviction of your own mind and what you want to say and how you want to say it, and you've got that conviction in yourself that you're doing the right thing and you're saying the right things, then what have you got to hide? I've got nothing to hide. Everything I've said in the past, in the last 18 months, I've stood by wholeheartedly. I can prove through research that I've done that research, and I can stand by everything I've said, you know. And if there's somebody that can fault me, then great. You know, if they want to fault me and say, look, on this particular thing, you know, you were wrong because of X, Y, Z, I'll go hold my hands up, go, fine, fair enough. But I'm not going to take some ad hominem bullshit attack. Oh, you know, why is your hat on backwards? Why is it on sideways? Why is it on this? Yeah, who gives a shit? You fucking idiots. If that's the best you can do, it just goes to show what a wanker you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Just leave Biker alone, right? Because what you don't realise is he moderates for me, and while he's watching a live and looking at the chat and trying to deal with things, and he does research at the same time as all this is going on, it's difficult doing a live stream because I'm trying to talk, which I do a lot. I'm trying to listen. Sometimes I look at the screen, I've got to look at the chat with that eye. I'm going to go cockeyed very soon, I'm sure. And then I've got my phone on my left-hand side. It's very difficult on a live stream for everybody, whether you just sat there talking or you're doing the live yourself or you're being a moderator. It's not easy. And someone's got to the guy tonight, but I'll tell you something now. Biker's got everyone's backing, so be very careful, guys, with how you treat Biker Eddie. I can say that right now. Zara's popped off. Yorkshire Tyke, a new member. Listen, you get nothing for it. I'm sorry. It's just a feature, and it kind of like says you get a preview of what's coming up, and that's all you get for it. But I appreciate that kind of respect, really. So thank you very much, Yorkshire Tyke. And I know you've been in my lives for a little while now with positive comments. So thank you very much. The chat has been mostly clean tonight, and I respect that totally. There's still 115 in. I've still got Mark on, who's been in from almost 10, 15 minutes in. We tried to get Evie straight away, but we had to say, let's wait till later when Fluke comes on and things like that. And as promised, he has.
I apologise for my somewhat late arrival, so I do apologise for that.
Still apologises. He still apologises for being a nice guy and telling the truth, guys.
And the thing is that the thing is with. See this guy up here, this guy up here, he is a fucking legend. So it's all that little bow down to Marky because he keeps doing it to me. So here's another one before you, Marky. Fuck you.
I'll bring down to Mark as well. I shall do the same thing, and no doubt his link will come up very soon as well, guys. So please sub to Mark's channel as well as Fluke's.
I've got to go to the little girls' room.
No worries, Fluke. You got two channels right there. Fluke, you've got two channels going.
I've got three. So there's Fluke on YouTube, Flukedog on BitChute, and Flukedog on Odyssey as well.
Right, you heard it there.
And I think I want to try and get as many people as I can over to Odyssey because that's the only one we can really trust, and it's the only one that's got any decent sort of BitChute kind of, you know, it kind of buffers a lot, and you kind of try and search things there, and it's like it's just not as intuitive as YouTube. And I understand why people stay on YouTube because it's a very intuitive kind of platform, so it's really easy to search for stuff. It's like you go to BitChute and try and search your channel, for argument's sake, you'd have to spell it exactly how you spell it. You couldn't just do a rough approximation of the spelling, and it will give you a load of options. You know, it doesn't do that on BitChute, and that's a problem with BitChute. So thank you, Leah M, again. I'm gonna have to buy that lady a big bunch of flowers one day. So if you can put up the link for, I think tomorrow's probably going to be the most important video that we've done in the last couple of weeks, and that'll be on Bastion Radio's channel, and that'll be on YouTube. But again, if you can stick up the link to his Odyssey channel and BitChute channel as well, then that'll be great. But sorry, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna wet my pants, so I'll be back in a bit.
Okay.
No worries, mate. Thanks, Luke.
Sorry, guys.
Mark's channel links up on the screen, guys. It'll still keep coming up as long as Leah's on. No doubt about it. Stephen, how you doing? I've seen you in the good evening. Darren Russell, thanks for your support, mate. That's Mark's channel link. Fluke's got 3 channels, 3. And there's the Odyssey link too.
He's got
Mark.
One thing I want to add about the Odyssey thing is that a lot of people won't want to go swap over to like BitChute or anywhere else because you've got to re-upload all of your content. And if you're like me, where I've got like over 2,000 bloody videos plus on mine, that's a big job. With Odyssey, when you go over and join, all you've got to do is claim your YouTube channel, and it moves everything over to their servers. So they actually copy your entire content over onto them. They're not just using the link to your YouTube platform. They will actually take the entire content and shift it over. It takes days in my case for it to have happened. So yeah, that's a very good reason to switch over to Odyssey, is because you don't have to re-upload. You just click a button and it transfers the lot for you. So,
well, I'll definitely take a look at that. I've only just recently heard of Odyssey. I've heard of BitChute for a while. In fact, I've set up an account. I put one video on as an experiment to see what it would do. I don't understand it, just like before I went on YouTube. So anyway, I don't think I've had a response from that, but I'm going to start looking into this more and more, because I've had a strike and 3 videos taken down over medical misinformation according to YouTube's terms and conditions and things like that. And I've read through it. And I've said it a few times now, but just to remind people what it says. And it says that basically, and it gives you a list of the C word things and the V word things and the World Health Organization and their collaboration. And in other words, what you put out there, and don't forget, 2 of my videos were live, what we're taking down live, which means there were no script. There's no script in any video anyway, what I do. It's just, but when you're live, it's like there's that many people around you. Who knows what they're going to be saying, what you pick up on camera or on sound. And it's basically saying...
Deano, that's not in the script here. Oh, sorry.
You've frozen, but I was just going to say, basically says, if you don't agree with the government, the World Health Organization... You froze then for a minute, Mark, sorry.
I was just saying, you went off script, but no, but never mind. Not that we scripted anything.
I forgot my lines then. I have now. But yeah, you're not allowed to disagree with what the government say or the World Health Organization. What they say goes. Even when you're doing a live stream, you could come across a group like Speaker's Corner. That was the one that got taken down in Parliament Square during a protest. And it was like people's opinions, free speech, right? Just because people have opinions on the current situation, it disagreed with what the government say and what the World Health Organization have laid out. Unbelievable, you know? But there you go. I got a strike for that. So, anyone else new who's joined, thanks. Fluke's gone off for a loo break, I think. Almo,
get kicked, didn't it?
Almo, you're off. Good night.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark.
I was just going to say three community guideline strikes in 6 months, and that's it. Channel's terminated.
Yeah, I got warned another one within 2 weeks. It's 2 strikes, and then after that, a 3rd strike, you're off. That's it. Your channel's down. It's out. That's it. Gone. My favourite music, John Swampy. My favourite music is, I'd have to say, if I had to pick one, would be like classic rock. I say classic rock. Yeah, that's narrowing it down from say the 50s up to the 90s, mid 90s, so something like that. But the period for me was the 70s stroke mid 80s. You know, like Deep Purple, Kansas, Magnum, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and all that. Too many to mention. 108 still in, guys. So and Fluke's back as well. Jason, you Scorpions, absolutely, definitely. There's no one like you. Right, so there's still channel links going up in there, guys, by Leah, of course. Matt 12128, top guy, top channel. Bastion's channel's gone up there. Fluke's channels have gone up there. The Odyssey links have gone up there as well, guys. So please check all that out, because we do need to make some movement now, i.e. from YouTube to... because the restrictions are coming in thick and fast on YouTube, and it's just ridiculous. So
we kind of come up with a bit of a plan with Mike, is because he's on 2 strikes and he's only got 1 left to go. And that's why he's kind of using his channel to do as many live streams as he can. And then if they boot him off, then we're going to use... I've got no strikes on my channel, so I'll just start doing the live streams from my... because I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, all my stuff's backed up on Odyssey, so it's already gone. You know, so if YouTube delete my channel, all my stuff, all my audits, all the other videos I've done are already backed up to somewhere else, so we don't have to worry about that. We've got another guy, 1984, that Leah knows who he is, and he's doing snippets of our live streams in like 10-minute chunks, so that they're really easy to share on social media and stuff like that. So you can go there, subscribe to him, and he'll, rather than watch a 4-hour live stream, which people aren't going to watch because not everybody has a 4 hours to sort of sit there and watch a live stream, he chops them up into like 10-minute chunks and then puts them out on BitChute. And from there, you can obviously share them to social media and do it like that. And we asked people to do that, and this guy stepped up to the mark and just did it straight off the bat. And it's a tough job to sit there and download a 4-hour video and try and edit it into 10-minute relevant chunks, you know, so people can share it around. And that's really important. So I really appreciate him doing what he's done there, because he's taken a lot of time out of to do that. So.
That's some great advice. Like, guys, you've just heard that, you know what I mean? There's other outlets, other platforms, and it seems like the way to go at the minute. Like, it's what people, you know, serious people seem to be doing. So please, like, if anyone in the chat who are content creators or whatever, check all this stuff out if you haven't done it already. Great stuff, Fluke. Thanks for that, mate, all that information, as always. So, yeah, Live Free's got an extra channel.
I would say the same thing with like your live stream, Deano, or any of the other live streams. You know, if somebody can take the time to download those videos and chop them into 10-minute relevant chunks that specifically, and this is why what me and Mike do on his channel is try to specifically target things in a way that we can talk about something for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and then move on to the next subject and talk about that, because, you know, that's it. And that way, when people do go through the live stream, they can just snippet those 10-15-minute chunks and chuck them on another channel, you know, and then that way it's easy for people to sort of to do it. And then somebody could do very similar to your live stream tonight. They could just take 10-minute chunks where they can post those elsewhere, and then it's really easy to share because people are more likely to watch something that's 10 minutes long rather than if they receive a video that's 4.5 hours long, they're not going to watch it. And the word just doesn't get out.
Yeah, nice one, Fluke. John Swampy, I get the feeling you're quite local. Years ago, sorry guys, it's in the town I live, the John Bull is a pub. And it's a very old pub, I believe, 16th century, and it's an old chop house, and it's the best pub in Wigan. It's got a jukebox, what's got the best music on it. So, John Swampy, are you local? Or have you just visited? I Spies channel links there, guys, in the chat. Nabil Hussein, what's your views on Afghanistan? That's aimed at you, Fluke. That question's come up a few times tonight. I think that could be to do with recent events. Auditing Hull's channel links come up there as well, guys. Let's respect Leah M, by the way, while I'm talking about channel links, because this person, this lady, this true lady, does so much hard work on my channel. It's unbelievable. Fluke said a big bunch of flowers earlier on. A big bunch of flowers is just the start, you know.
And a box of chocolates.
Box of chocolates. See, the old-fashioned romantic type is Fluke. You can tell.
I'm a bit old like that.
There's nothing wrong with being nice, man. It's nice to be nice. Someone should audit an abattoir and the mass corporate slaughter of animals. Well, why you brought that up, Dodge the Badger? I'm a vegan, and I've only been a vegan since February this year, but previous to that I was vegetarian for quite a few years. But I think that's a good idea, by the way. But a lot of vegan, I'm going to say this word, extremists, do that, but then they go all OTT about it. But I would love to do that in a legal and safe way. So thanks for bringing that up.
I think the thing with the abattoirs and stuff has been done not necessarily from an auditing perspective, but people go out there and demonstrate there, and they video record their interactions with the police and security guards while they're there. So it's not necessarily an audit, you know, but they do video record what they're doing so that they've got it for their own backup, if you like, when it comes to a legal perspective. So that has been done, and it's all over YouTube and BitChute and all the rest of it. If you want to go and search for those type of videos and watch those, then they're definitely already on there. That's not, it's not like it's never been done before, because it has, you know, and it's been done from a, you know, not maybe political is not the word, political perspective, but from the perspective of the people that think that, you know, animals shouldn't be treated in that way, and they've gone there and demonstrated outside of these places where abattoirs and where animals are kept and how they're transported and stuff like that. You know, it's all been documented. Basically, is probably the best way to put it. Documented, and you know, I wouldn't personally do an audit at an abattoir, because, you know, if you're really that interested in doing audits at abattoirs, get yourself a camera, go down to your nearest abattoir and audit it. You know, it's up to you. It's not up to me to do it. You know,
yeah.
If that's what you're passionate about.
I'm just saying though, Fluke, you know, as a vegan, it's like it's different in that respect. So.
Yeah.
But like I said before, like, you get extremists. I've seen them go in there covertly, and there's a certain guy. He's well known on YouTube. He's been on mainstream on talk shows, early morning talk shows, and that. Joey Carbstrong. Now, excuse me, he was an ex-gang member, and he openly admits what he's done in his past, and a big meat eater. excuse me, and he went vegan. I wouldn't say he's an extremist, but he's very strong on the subject and the way he comes across. Same with TV presenters, like when he's been on that as well as YouTube. And he did one video once, and it really touched me. It really did. And it was around Christmas time, and it's where they're breeding all these turkeys up, free range, by the way. And he got into this free range area of the farm, and now free range is not what you imagine. Same with chickens and things. They're in a big shed, not in this beautiful pasture of Greenland and little ponds and things like that. No, free range means they just simply have more room to maneuver, which is not very much room at all as compared to a cage. And there were all these turkeys, and they start pecking at each other's tails. They get angry and agitated. Don't forget the sentient beings. They have feelings, emotions. They feel pain and things like that, and love. And so they start getting at each other, and he rescued one. So he kind of broke in, and he rescued a young turkey, took it home, brought the beautiful bird up, and they're highly intelligent, by the way, turkeys, and they communicate with each other individually, as he was saying, even though they all sound the same, like you'd hear a pigeon or a chicken and birds what sound the same, very, very slightly, they all have their own different voice, like we do, their own different tones and things like that. And he picked this young bird up, took it home, and called it Tinsel. And the reason he said he named the bird, the turkey, Tinsel, was because this big shed, this free-range shed full of turkeys, what were being bred and kept at the same time, different age groups of turkeys, for Christmas, and that's why he called her Tinsel. And then when she grew to full adult, he then handed her over to an animal sanctuary. And I thought that was nice. But the way he comes across about veganism and animal slaughter and abuse and factoried meat and things like that, and the whole process, he is quite strong, but I wouldn't quite call him an extremist. But there are extremists in veganism. And I think for me, being a vegan, some of the things the extremists do are way overboard. So, but I do have respect for Joey Carbstrong. Check his channel out if you like.
Yeah, this is the thing, you know. It's not like I don't disagree with veganism or vegetarianism or complete. What's the other word for non-complete meat eaters or whatever it is? But whatever it is, just do it. Do it within your capacity. Express your opinions, post your videos online. I ain't got a problem with it. Nobody else has got a problem with it, but don't force it down somebody else's throat.
Correct. Yeah.
I
don't do that, Flu. And I get people, like respectful people, like who visit and things like that, and say, "Is it okay if I eat this in front of you?" And I think, yeah, because everywhere I go, people do, and I'm not someone to like. Do you know, like an ex-smoker? Like, because I'm an ex-meat eater, like an ex-smoker, some people will like be extreme, if you like, and go, if someone walks past with a fag and blows out, just as they're walking past each other, and the ex-smoker who's now given up and is very proud of it goes, disgusting. For me, that's slightly hypocritical, and I don't do that with people, but they're so respectful by saying, if I sit down with someone for a meal, there's only me not eating meat type of thing. So why would I criticize? I used to eat it myself, and it's people's choice. So I don't want to be an hypocrite. It doesn't bother me. It does slightly, but I would never put upon that. I would never give them a lecture on it. I will talk about it like I am doing now, but I would never say, "No, Flu, no way, mate. You shouldn't be eating meat. No, I don't care what you say, blah, 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 blah." And that's the way Joey Carbstrong is. But No, I'm not like
Yeah,
that.
I was just going to say, I thought Mark was going to say something on that subject, and I didn't kind of.
Oh, I was just going to say where it all boils back to the old saying: "Don't expect others to do what you not willing to do yourself." So you tell other people to go and audit these things. Well, everyone has a camera. Everyone has the ability to move. So you don't expect other people to change.
Exactly, Mark. Exactly. That's the thing. Have you got the balls of your own conviction? Because if you're going to come on here and make a comment about why don't you go and audit an abattoir, why don't you go and audit the abattoir? You've got a camera. You've got all the same rights that I've got. You go and audit the abattoir. If that's what you feel passionate about, you go and audit it. You go and audit it. I don't have a passion for auditing banks. I don't have a passion for auditing defence contractors. I have a passion for doing it because I want to expose them for what they are. And if you want to expose some sort of abattoir or whatever it is, then go and expose them. If you've got the passion, the commitment, and the wherewithal to do it, and the intelligence and the knowledge to do it, and present it in a way that that expresses your opinion, then go out and do it. That's the whole point of it.
And generally,
nobody's telling you can't do it. You're only expressing the same rights I've got to express what I do. So go out and do it.
The point you would be trying to make by suggesting going and auditing an abattoir, well, the only person that could probably speak better on it would probably be the person making the suggestion, as opposed to Fluke, who doesn't know enough about it. If you've, like he's saying, if you've got the strength and the passion and the knowledge and the conviction, then go with what you're strong with. That's what makes us all great individuals, is diversity.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. But Eamon, no, I don't. Like I've just explained about myself when it comes to veganism. But when you say you are pro animal testing, I just want to say we don't need to do that for a start. I wouldn't like to be tested on myself, i.e., I'll bring that word up. I don't want to be vaxxed. I never will be.
You won't be, Deano.
Pardon?
You won't be.
No, I'm not. But pro animal testing.
No, what I mean is you won't be vaxxed, mate, because you're vegan. You're exempt.
I didn't know that, but Eamon, I'm sorry, Master Ron. I'll bring you straight back in. I just want to address Eamon. You've been in the chat for a long time. You've been really great, and that's your opinion. But like I've just explained about myself, when it comes to I'm not extreme and things like that. I don't really have very strong views because I'm an ex meat eater. But I don't agree with testing things on animals because it's been proven over many years now that doesn't have to happen. So I'm sorry. All I'm saying is I disagree with that comment. That's all I'm saying. But respect to you anyway for having your opinion. That's what you're allowed, and why not? Sorry, Master Ron, what was you saying?
By what I've heard, people who are vegan are exempt from having the vaccine. The reason why is because I believe it's got a gelatin egg in it, for one, but also because they started off the testing through animals. So you have actually got the right to refuse, I do believe.
And I concur, and I agree with Master on that, but I also agree with everybody's got the right to refuse because you have the freedom of choice.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. Oh, yeah, by the way, hello, Dino. Hello, Mark. I'll be very interested. I did sub to your site earlier on. I'll be very interested in seeing what's going on in New Zealand. And hello,
spread the word as well, Master Ron. Spread the word.
You know me. If I'm wherever I am, I shall spread it. I won't get on my soapbox and spread it.
And while you're mentioning that, his channel link's gone straight up as well. So
good.
Nice one. Good timing.
Can I just make another point that might be really interesting to people? While we were talking about the whole animal thing, right? And it's like, if we can transfer that animal mentality into the political sphere of today, is, you know, it's like, you know, we are basically being coerced into doing something that we maybe don't want to do, right? Or we're being frightened into doing something we maybe don't want to do. You know, we're being frightened if we leave our house, we'll get a ticket from the police, or we'll get put in prison, or we'll get, you know, all this sort of stuff. You know, we can go on and on about all of that. But let's just think about this from an animal's perspective, right? A sheep spends its whole life worrying about the wolf, right? We are the sheep and we're worried about COVID, right? Now, so a sheep can spend the whole of its life worried about the wolf, right? Only to be eaten by the shepherd. So who's the shepherd? The government.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put it in that perspective, that's where we lie today, you know.
We just love the way Fluke puts things, don't we, guys? Definitely. Nicely said. Shall we change the subject now? Because
Yep.
I think it was me who carried that on for too long. Decent subject. It got raised because of a question, and that's what it's about. So we can move on if we want. Still 93 in. A few new names have come in as well. Mans B's back. Massive respect to Mans B. Thank you so much. And I will say this, Mans. I'll say it to you now. I did notice, you know, because of what's been going on this past week, I did notice you in a live stream on someone's channel. Things were said about me like they have been done all week. It's been, I would say, slightly hurtful at the beginning.
Sorry, Dino, you're talking to me?
No, everybody. Well, Mans
okay.
B, who's come back in the chat. Sorry, mate. She's a moderator of mine. And there's been a lot of, as you know, what's been going on and with certain people and that. And I've took a lot of flack. But Mans B stuck up for me one night in the chat. And she's the only person who did. And I've had a lot of two-faced people who've come into my chat and then into other people's chats and that. All those two-faced people have gone because I've got rid of them.
May I add?
Mans, thank you. Thank you very much, Mans. Mans B. Stephen Lyon as well. Thank you so much, mate. How are you doing? Stephen Lyon's a great person. Whoever else has come in, thank you so much. I do not live in fear, says Carlos. Yeah, that's right. Neither do I. Or Fluke, or Mark. I'm sure Master Ron doesn't. Okay?
Well,
No,
if I could say something there, Dino, all I like to say is anybody who may be out there and everything, I go by what I see and what I hear. I do not go by hearsay. So if you don't like me to come onto your channel and I go onto somebody else's channel, I'm an adult. I make my own decisions who I talk to and everything, and I do not go by hearsay. I go by what I can see and what I hear.
I'll say something now, right, Master Ron, and I'll be straight with you, right?
Yeah.
Because I just like clearing the earth straight away, nip things in the bud, so we can just fucking carry on, right?
That's right.
Now, and I know you've been a supporter and you come in lives and shit like that, but you did jump over to, and then all of a sudden he fucked you off, right?
Yeah, I did come on to you.
But you back in mind, at that point, I don't think you were impartial. But I think now maybe you are.
No. I said on You Know Who, yeah, whenever that subject was brought up, I always turned around and said that I go by what I see and what I hear. And I could only see one video that I could comment on. I do not go by hearsay from this side, and I do not go by hearsay from that side because I wasn't there. That person didn't like it that I come onto your channel, but I said to that person many times, I only go by what I can see and what I hear. When I was very, very young, I used to go by decisions of what other people said, but I've grown up a very long time ago, and I come to the conclusion that you cannot go by what one person says and what another person says if you're not there, because you're going to get different stories from everybody.
Yeah, it's easy to jump to a conclusion, right?
Exactly.
I'll talk about it, but in a decent way, not like others, right?
You don't have to. You don't have
it's
to
fine.
explain
It's
yourself to
fine.
me.
What people know, it's fine. It's my live stream. So what I'll say is, right, what people saw at the beginning before they made their mind up or their opinions was about, I don't know, half an hour of a couple of weeks of a journey. A couple of weeks. So what people saw was like half an hour, whatever it was, of a video of an event, and then everyone piled in with all this crap, and I took loads of flack. So as Natural, so as Plod, right? I've lost, I don't know, a few subs or whatever. I don't care. I've had threats. I've had quite a few threats actually, and things like that and shit like that. It's not bothered me. I've never fired back. I went off my head on Wednesday night because that was a tough night for me. Plodology, which Plod were here on that night because he has to deal with shit. But I thought I dealt with it well, and I stood my ground. I had a lot of shit on Wednesday, private chat, personal shit going on my phone, trying to do a live at the same time and all that. Right? I'm not having it. I want these people to go away, then I can crack on with what I'm doing. But two-faced people, anyone like that, I don't. If people come on here and say, hey, Deano, respect and shit like that, and go on to someone else's channel when I've been slagged off by them, with very little proof of anything and just half an hour's worth of footage with what all these people have seen who weren't there, who don't know these people, have never met these people. I just
Deano,
think it's...
Deano, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you
I don't
what,
give
mate.
them any more time of day. I don't care who they are. They've done it. They've done it, and that's enough. There's no point them coming back to me saying, I didn't mean to say that, blah, blah, blah. Well, they did because they said it.
I've got an interesting point for you, Deano, on that, because I can tell you something about something that went on about 6 months ago that's suddenly changed, you know, on the live stream today that went out. So
Mark,
we'll leave that. We'll leave that to a personal conversation tomorrow. Maybe we can bring up in a live stream another time. But there's another lad, Mark, is come on. So let's.
Yeah, Mark Kelly's on. Mark's been on a few times. He's a sound guy. Is Mark? Natural's back in the chat as well, guys. So is Nigel. Still early doors yet, guys. It's only 5 past midnight, just gone British time. So there's 93 in. So we'll crack on. Just thanks to everyone in the chat, anyone who's joined. But Mark Kelly's on, guys.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Mark. You're in New Zealand, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, is it true what I see? I see on another channel that you're in lockdown after one case.
The first case that was reported sparked the lockdown. There's now 31 cases as of last night, and we've been in lockdown level 4, which means nobody goes nowhere apart from petrol station, dairy, and supermarket and chemist. And it's been that we're on day 4 now of that, and I've extended it through to next Tuesday. So plan it by ear, but it's now it's escaped Wellington.
Wow, one case.
And it's Wellington, and so yeah, but that's what sparked it off was the initial one case.
I think you need to start the chant, Mark. You need to start a chant around the whole village, wherever you live. Jacinda needs a bullet. Jacinda needs a bullet. Jacinda needs a bullet. Because that is one socialist Nazi piece of shit. That woman, she's disgusting. I can't even watch her.
Astonishing.
Anymore.
One case.
I can't even watch her anymore.
Yeah.
She's disgusting. What a depraved woman. What? You know, how do these people sleep at night unless they get off on the fact that they're fucking their own people over? That's the only reason they can sleep at night.
It's called money beds.
Well,
What
with
a
her,
disgraceful piece of shit. She's not a disgraceful politician. She's a disgraceful human being. What human being would do that to other human beings unless you've got some sick agenda? That's the only reason.
So, Mark,
this isn't about health. This isn't
Mark,
about social.
What's the general population? You know, what's their feelings on it?
About the lockdown.
Fucking 10 cases. Let's lock down fucking 7 million people. Fuck, that's the agenda.
Yeah, well, it's over here. Most people are complying because they did so well the last time, but they're not thinking rationally because they're all fear-based, you know. People are all walking around with their nappies. You know, I got yelled at yesterday for not signing in because I didn't do the COVID tracer app on my phone, and she yelled at me I had to sign the form, so I just wrote Yoda and carried on into the supermarket. Fuck her. You know, I had to do some writing for her. I'm happy to do that, but fuck her if she's getting my details. So, yeah, it's I mean, New Zealand's bought 10 million Pfizer vaccines. Okay, and I was one of the few people, I'm going to put it up on my channel shortly, is a court hearing on the 19th of April this year, where a lawyer called Sue Gray had filed a complaint in at the High Court about the New Zealand government getting these vaccines in because they weren't ethical or tested properly. And even the Pfizer technicians themselves, and this is on the court recording, said that they'd urged New Zealand not to use it because it hasn't been fully tested for 2 years. And yet the New Zealand government's been dishing them out anyway. 20,000 got vaccinated yesterday, you know, and there's 600,000 vaccines in the country, which is enough for 300,000 double vaccinations. And they've sent 3 million of the 10 million off over to the islands, to Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, all the island nations. So yeah, it's.
I'm here, John.
I mean, Mark, I've got.
I'm only putting on with it because, you know, my wife, she had a heart attack and she's all, you know, fear is getting to her. I mean, she's an awake individual, but when it comes to her own health, better be safe than sorry. So I don't mind pacifying her by wearing a mask when I'm out with her or something. But mate, it just does my head in. I'm walking around for the last few days out in the public saying happy lockdown day number 2, happy lockdown day number 3, because I've gone out every day this lockdown.
Yeah, Mark, what I was going to say was I had a brilliant idea. You know, back a couple of months when I was keeping in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I did was, this was during the height of COVID. And what I did was, when I went to anywhere, it might have been not a restaurant, but like a fast food restaurant, or where they wanted me to sign in or do a QR code and all this bullshit, I used to get my phone out and say, and I just used to take a photograph of their QR code and say, yeah, I've signed in. And they go, yeah, okay, because they don't know what they're doing, right? So that was hilarious. And then one day I stopped on my way back to the car, and I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to go and have a pint and sit in the garden and just feel a bit normal. Do you know what I mean? So I went into this pub, and they wanted to take my details, and I said, that's fine. So they asked for my name and my address and my date of birth, and I've got a member of my family that I don't get on with whatsoever at all. Do you know what I mean? So I gave him his name, his number, and his date of birth, and checked in with him. And then I decided I'm going to check in everywhere I can now. because I'm just going to use his details. And so this guy's been everywhere, all over the southeast of England.
What cracks me up is on most of these sign-in registrars, well, at least the shops in New Zealand, they've just got a fucking ledger book. So you walk out with your camera, boom, you've got 30 people's name, address, phone number. They're supposed to be protecting each individual's privacy. What they should do is like this place I was at yesterday, where they actually had an individual pad. You wrote your name, you tore it off, and you put it in a box so no one else could see it. That's the right way to do it, if at all. But that way they can't check if I signed my name right or not, because I just went Yoda. It said phone number, and I went 1.
This is the thing, and this is the funny thing as well, right? We did another thing. I did another thing where I'm currently on state benefits, which is neither here nor there. But they sent me an email saying, "You've got to come in for an interview." And I said, "Okay, fine." And they said, "Don't attend the interview if you've come into somebody that's got coronavirus symptoms," right? So I emailed him back and said, "Well, look, there's a guy staying next door to me and he's waiting for a PCR test. But I don't know whether he's got symptoms or not. And even if he did have symptoms, that would be irrelevant, because if he was asymptomatic, does that still count? And I don't have to come for the interview." And sent them the email, and I never got a response. It's like your own rules don't even make sense, you know.
Too hard question, Luke. You asked them a too hard question. Should have asked them if it was sunny.
How would I know if I come across somebody that's got, COVID symptoms if they're asymptomatic? What am I supposed? Or am I supposed to sort of?
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
Wake the fuck up, people. This is bullshit, and this is the thing that annoys me the most about this is the nonsense that goes on behind all of this. The nonsense, the sort of the bullshit about, like, we go back to when I've done this a couple of times before on videos. After the first lockdown in New York and New Jersey, you were allowed to congregate on the beach, but you couldn't swim in the sea, based on the science, right? Alternatively, in California, right, you were allowed to swim in the sea, but you couldn't congregate on the beach, based on the science. It's like, hello, is anybody waking up to this bullshit? Then you've got the governor of California, right, Greg Newsom, right? He closed down every winery in California, every wine producing manufacturer in California, with the exception of one winery, right? Guess whose winery he didn't shut down? His own one. Yeah. His own one, yeah. So his winery can stay open because he's part of the elite, but everybody else's winery has to close, Then we have the governor of the mayor of Austin, Texas. The mayor of Austin, Texas enforced a major close down of everything, businesses shut down, hairdressers, bars, restaurants, nightclubs shut, everything shut, nobody allowed to leave their house, everyone's got to wear a mask, da 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 da, bada bing, bada bong, bada bang. And then he went on holiday to Mexico for a week. Hello? At which point are we going to wake up to the bullshit? Yeah. And then when he got back, and actually somebody from the mainstream media actually caught him out in his lie and questioned him over it, and he said, "I'm sorry, it was a mistake." Right? Now, let me just think. How many times have I mistakenly gone on holiday? I don't know. I'm just trying to think now, because I can remember in 2022 or something, I mistakenly went to Ibiza. I woke up in Ibiza and I was like, how did I get here? I must have made a mistake. I must have mistakenly packed my bags, mistakenly booked a flight, mistakenly got a taxi to the airport, and mistakenly went on holiday. Stayed there for 7 days before I realised my mistake. And I didn't realise my mistake until I came home. What is the matter with these? And people believe this shit. That's what pisses me off even more. These people, this guy sat on fucking mainstream media news and gave that as an excuse
One
for breaking
man.
lockdown measures.
No worries. Fluke, listen, honestly, mate, we all understand your passion. Definitely me. But Mark, Mark Kelly's come on, patiently waiting.
Yeah,
Mark,
sorry, mate. It was me that introduced you on
it's
as
all
well.
right. You know what Fluke's like. We all know what Fluke's like. But how you doing, Mark?
I don't mind.
I'm just going to say bye, guys, because the wife.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
I'll catch you later.
I think Mark.
Yeah, one thing I will say to everyone.
One sec, Mark. Sorry, Mark. Mark,
can you hear me?
Mark, who's been on? Yeah, just give us one sec, Mark Kelly. Mark's been on for 4 hours. Really appreciate it. From New Zealand, guys. Hopefully, Mark will be a regular on Friday.
I don't know if you hear me, but
that's all right, mate. I'm just going to say my byes, and then I'm off to go and keep the wife happy. So, catch you later.
No worries, mate.
Bye now.
You take it easy, and thanks so much. Thanks for your contribution.
That's all right. I don't know if you can hear me, but
sorry about that.
I think you've all.
I look forward to catching up with you next time. All the best.